found one drone en route to Moscow. As a result, the country's air transport regulator states that Zhukovsky Airport in Moscow introduces temporary restrictions on flights. The Domodedovo and Sheremetyevo airports first imposed similar limits but have now lifted the restrictions. Now we move on to EU. EU Trade Commissioner Maros Sefcovic has recently met with U.S. Secretary of State Commerce Howard Lutnick and U.S. Trade Representative Ambassador Jamieson Greer in their first official visit to Belgium's capital city, Brussels. Briefing on the discussions that he held with them, Sefcovic has stated that the EU and U.S. have reached a proper deal, but more deliberation is still required on its implementation. He's particularly stressed on steel and derivatives, where he raised the issue of reducing tariffs and forming a common understanding on the meetings that needs of global overcapacity. Let's listen into what he has shared.
We also recognize that more work lies ahead, especially on steels and derivatives, where we seek both to reduce tariff and to confront global overcapacity together. And this is a priority area for the EU, as recently demonstrated by the adoption of our steel regulation to help restore balance to the EU steel market. And finally, we discussed the forward-looking agenda, including critical minerals, where we share the goal of securing reliable supplies while strengthening our respective industrial base.
Moreover, the discussions also included other critical raw materials linked with economic security. Commenting on the recent talks, Lithuanian Foreign Minister Kęstutis Budrys has referred to an agreement that was reached earlier in August and further emphasized on the need for its swift implementation. Let's listen in.
We cannot be in the permanent fixing phase. We have to have the normal agreement on steel and aluminium and work on it. We have to implement swiftly what was agreed back in August, and that is what I'm really looking into.
Now for this discussion, we welcome Shyam Batra. He's a British politician and former London mayoral candidate, joins us live from London. Thank you very much, Mr. Shyam, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, looking at this, to what extent should the EU and US coordinate their policies on steel tariffs and global overcapacity, and how could such cooperation affect their economic relations with each other?
Are you talking about Europe?
Yes, Europe.
Yes. Well, I mean, you probably heard the news yesterday that one of our billionaires has left the UK because of all of the bad situations, and he's in steel. So I think the European Union situation, they have a severe control on everything on 28 countries. And the way the steel manufacturing, etc., has been dealt with, I think it needs to be kind of overhauled. It's long overdue as well. I mean, this has been going on for quite some time, that we don't know who is in control of this. And not only that, what effect does it give to the UK and other countries in the world?
Right. And what challenges and common grounds do you think US and Europe has to progress on these trade talks?
Well, I mean, the US has extensive programs over there, as you know, and plus the trade tariffs as well, which are going to impact on the steel and industry, because most of the situation that's happened, because Trump has raised all these trade situations, that given rise to a lot of issues that have gone on. But in other words, sorry, I think I had a lag there. What happens to Europe in terms of supplying the trade to the various other countries, and not only that, to the rest of the world, remains to be seen. I mean, the prices are what they are, according to the systems that are set up. But it is a huge business very huge business. And I noticed that when Trump did the trade tariffs, he segmented them out of the way because obviously it's big money. So I think there's going to be a lot of discussions going on in the very near future about how and what, who is going to supply and who is going to send and so forth. There is a lot of, I mean, if you look at Africa as well, the steel industry in Africa is massive. It's very, very big. I mean, it could be a massive exporter one day. We don't know, but it is not part of Europe. It is not part of US. It is not part of UK. It's just Africa in its own sense. So in those realms, I think, I do think it needs to be completely overhauled in terms of who is using this, who is going to be the dominant leader in the world. Is it Europe? Is it US? Is it both? We don't know at this moment in time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Shyam.